So, so the book I did by Munoz Ryan is Our California, and I chose this to throw in some geography and history into my recordings. And I thought the first page was very interesting because it showed a map of California and like different aspects that are on it. It shows the Golden Gate Bridge, Death Valley, the Great Central Valley, and it has cool illustrations that kids could take to and see easier than looking at a normal map. So it kind of makes it interactive and more fun for them. And this book is pretty good because every page talks about a different area in California and gives like what the different aspects of each one is. Like where San Diego is known for surfing and swimming and beaches and things like that, there is an image of a person on a surfboard flying through a wave with a bunch of animals around him too, which is a very interesting illustration for kids to look at. And another one that I found was very cool was it talked about the gold rush, which was a very important part of our history, and how they named an entire a whole town after the name Eureka, because that's what the gold rushers shouted when they first found gold. They yelled Eureka, so they just named the town that because that was the area that they found it in, and it was a northwestern town in California, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I didn't know that prior to reading this book actually. So that was pretty cool to learn. And this book is just interesting because it shows different points of California, like the Golden Gate Bridge, and then it shows the image of it, so the kids aren't just hearing the words and not knowing sort of what it is, but there is a picture to show it. And if I was reading this book to my students, I would read through it and then point to every image in the book, like what it is trying to show, so they would actually know what they're looking at. And another thing is, it's good to know about some geography and history of the country that you live in, just because we live here. And California is a pretty cool state. I mean, it's very hot there. So the area of Death Valley, where in the book it says that it gets to 120 degrees, might shock some students and might want make them want to look up more on it. And also, the name Death Valley is just a very interesting name because it could have poor connotations, and it's really only named that just because of how hot it is there and it's all deserts and sort of things like that. So I think it'd be cool to get students to get do some research on it. And another thing I liked about this book is just how it does different parts of California, and it's not just cued in on like a single area like the northern or the southern. It just shows the important aspects of California and where like popular tourist sites and things are like that. So an activity that I might do with my students is have them pick one of the areas in the book that was read to them and tell if they would want to live there, why they want to live there, and then an area where they wouldn't want to live and why they wouldn't want to live. And I think it'd be cool to get their different perspectives and to hear all the students' choices because they might come up with some crazy ideas why they might want to live in some places and others. Some of them might be just because of the illustrations, because some of the illustrations are really eye popping. Like the one in Sacramento, there is a guy riding like a horse dragon sort of thing through the air, and it kind of looks like majestical and like magic in a sense. So I think students might take to that, and it might be a fun idea to do. I think a lot of the students would just choose Palm Springs just because of the illustration, not because of the text that goes along with it. Because in the illustration, there's a dog, a boy sitting in a chair relaxing, and a girl swimming in a pool, and it's just a very calm and beautiful picture, I guess you could say, if students would perceive it like that. Because kids obviously during the summer love to swim and just relax in the sun and do activities they can do in the warm weather instead of being cold and sort of things like that. So I think they would really take to this part of the book and maybe not to the Death Valley just because of the image in that, because there is a snake that is going across the book, which snakes are sort of a poor connotation, I would say, unless you're a snake lover, because there's a lot of snakes out there that can harm you. So people don't tend to enjoy snakes much, but they do and tend to enjoy pools. And the standards that I found would go along with this book are Standard 1, History of the United States. Students will use a variety of intellectual skills to demonstrate their understanding of major ideas, areas, themes, developments, and turning points in the history of the United States. And the second one that I think would be is Standard 3, which is Geography, because this book is talking about different areas in California, which obviously cues into geography. And that one is students will use a variety of intellectual skills to demonstrate their understanding of the geography of the interdependent world in which we live, local, national, and global, including the distribution of people, places, and environments over the Earth's surface. And yeah, that is all I have. Thanks.